What's up, folks? RichesMethod back at it again with another one. On my previous video, I told you guys I would follow up as an extension of that video with help and tips on how to move in the best manner to maximize your time. I'm telling you that these tips that I'll be giving you, you'll be able to use it anywhere on the island for the most part to have the best time you can. So by now, you should have gotten there, settled in, using your best mode of transportation, chose your location, and you're ready to enjoy your day life, and then of course, the nightlife, which I'm gonna cover both. You know our motto over here is the abundance mindset. So we're gonna take it up a notch. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, but not only that, go back into it if you're already subscribed and make sure that you select the notification bell on the all. Without that, YouTube will only send you notifications sometime whenever they feel like it. And with that said, let's go. Now it's daytime. You got to get to the local bars or the local colmados, wherever the fun gonna be. So if you're staying right there in the tourist location, it'll most likely be a main avenue, right? You're probably going to first see a moto concho driver, the motorbike driver. Usually got a jacket with some kind of hot color on it. And then, of course, the next people are going to be your local girls, Dominican, as well as, of course, Haitian. The other option, your taxi driver. Now, this guy can be a private taxi with just you only, or you might be public, which is Carlito. Or you're going to got your minibuses, like in the background. They're going to be your guaguas to get you wherever you got to go. Now, you're a tourist. Welcome. You're a passport holder, but now you're also, more importantly, a passport user. You're using your passport. All right, so now let's get serious. Listen, Dominican people are friendly people, right? But they, especially if you're in a tourist zone, are not your friend. This is a tourist country like many others, and the number one income right now is tourism. I think the number two is their oil that they have. So if you're going to go to one of the tourist areas like Punta Cana, Sosua, Cabarete, Boca Chica, Las Terrenas, all these places that have the larger economies that work upon tourism, no matter where you're from in the world, you are the business. Remember that. People are going to be friendly to you. You're going to have new amigos out of everywhere. Partially because that's the culture, but they're doing their job. This does not mean that some of these people in the future cannot potentially turn into real, actual friends, and even maybe a loved one. But the initial reaction when they woke up that morning and when they saw you was, it's my job to make money from this individual. This is a tourist, and we make money from tourism. Now, an individual working in tourism of any type has never met you, don't know if they'll see you again, and they're in an economy where everything is mostly negotiated. So they're going to have, most times, no set prices. They're going to ask you to tell them what you can afford to pay, which, of course, because of the exchange rate and the assumption that you have more money, you just flew there, you got an expensive place, and you dress nicely, and we'll get into that, that you probably can afford more than double or triple what they would normally pay. And you probably can. But be cautious. Keep it in the back of your mind. You're now the amigo, the friend, but you're also the job. Now, if you happen to go smack dab in the middle of the party spots, Sosua, Boca Chica, even Cabarete, and you're on those main strips, do not wear your heart on your sleeve. A matter of fact, you should have literally left that home. You were just there for fun of whichever version you were looking for. Do not fall in love. Now, it doesn't mean that it's not possible. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It just means that the likelihood is everyone working in those kind of zones, Boca Chica on the beach, Punta Cana on the beach, even in the hotel possibly, they're there, one, for work, but also potential extra opportunities. Not everybody, but life is about odds, right? So when you potentially want to put yourself into the possible scenario of being caught up and then coming out at the back end of something that you'll regret or really break your heart over, right? So I'm talking only about the tourist zones and the party environment, right? The party strips. Now listen, get used to and very comfortable with using the one word no. You're gonna hear the most saddest stories in your life ever in these tourist zones. You're also gonna see supposedly some of the saddest situations ever in these tourist zones. Do not wear your heart on your sleeve. Get used to using the word no, and get used to just ignoring people. I swear to God, you'll need it. Ignore people. Like, they didn't really ask you that question. You don't really see them. You don't really hear them. And they're going to move on. Now, where you from, it might seem harsh or rude, but trust me. And fellas, if you've been to Sosua, you can comment down below. You might have returned year after year. You see a particular girl especially who sells little chewing gum, sweets, a regular little vendor, just selling you whatever you might need. Protection. This woman has been pregnant for 3 years straight. No cap. Now, some of you might have got taken by her too, so you felt a little sorry. Which brings me to my next thing. Learn at least a few basic Spanish words. Enough to get around, enough to ask prices. Think about the basics that you would have to do in a day. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, how much, cuánto cuesta, what's the cost. Guys, think about some of the basics. No, C is yes. You can use Google for that, but you want to make sure you at least know some basics. This brings me to my third item, very important. And I love what one of my watchers talked about. He said, you can dress nicely going these places, but don't go to these places looking like you're some rapper like Migos or somebody. And I love that statement because it kind of summarizes what I'm about to say here. When you're back home, right? If you were in New York City and you're walking on Wall Street and you see a dude jump out of a Bugatti, he's got a $300 haircut, a $5,000 shoes, a custom-made suit that probably cost him $8,000, a Rolex classic watch that's a collectible, and even you who are doing well enough in your country, right? You see that guy, and he was to sit next to you, and y'all are hanging out, and you're at your job. What way would you view him, as in his ability to buy items, socialize, what he buys to drink, what he buys to eat? Well, guess what? When some of you guys come off the planes in some of these countries, and you feel because it's okay for you to wear certain things to attract the fairer gender where you're from, and it's just normal and regular, that also flies, that you're looking nice and attractive, normal and regular, buddy, you're not. And a matter of fact, because of that, you can kind of become food, right? You can awaken the thirst. If you run into your local rapper, your local musician, or your local billionaire, and you think you won't have thirst right now, you might be surprised if given the opportunity in your country and you're around those people, how you'll view them. No, let's face it, you're not a billionaire. I know it, you know it, they know it, but it's not the point. They think you can afford even more. Which brings me to the topic of, are you financially educated? Yeah, I said it. Are you fiscally responsible? Now, let's just face it. The average guy who is flying down, having a good time, is not a doctor or a businessman. However, some people are taking the same financial view that they take on things like layaway plans for their furniture and television and electronics, as well as things like wake-up call services. Hey, baby, how you doing this morning? Hey, baby, good night. Hey, baby, did you eat today? Hey, baby, how was your lunch today? As well as things like senior services. I used to work with a cable company at one part of my life. And if a senior citizen, because they were a snowbird living 6 months in the south, like Florida, and 6 months in the north where it's cold, instead of letting them disconnect their services, we used to offer them something called a vacation plan. Basically, we get them the same services they're not going to be using at a highly discounted rate that they're still paying for monthly, instead of just discontinuing the service in the first place. And you're paying interest in the long run that does not make sense. Why? One, when you calculate it all up at that lower rate, is the biggest trick that every single company uses. Netflix, even your cable company. A monthly bill that you're going to forget to cancel at the end of the year adds up to more than what you would have paid for one-time use of those services, or only the amount of time that you need it. And not to mention, those providing those services are not exclusively providing service. They continue on to have that business. Now, the truth is, that person could have come back at any time, or what would we have done? We want to deny them services, that's for sure. Fellas, I highly recommend the Traveler's Cheat Sheet on dating, safety, and travel.